Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2012 Mitsubishi Lancer Ralliart. Up front is a 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4 and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission.
This video is sponsored by CarMarshal.com. If you'd like to support the channel, click the link down in the description below. CarMarshal.com advertises for over 100,000 vehicles across the US.
But let's get back to that 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4. Well, it's essentially a very similar engine to what is found in the Evo. The Evo, or the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution, is the bigger brother of the Lancer. That is the top trim. This is not the top trim. This is not the Evo. This is a lower trim level. It is the Ralliart, so we do get a couple interesting things with that. But the big differences between the Evo engine and the non-Evo engine is really just the turbo. This has a smaller turbo, but the owner has done some work to it, and so we have an Evo blow-off valve. We have some Evo bits on it, so it's not the slowest thing in the world. All right, let me get some window down here. I have to fully stop to put it into super sport. So let's stop here. It's not the craziest thing in the world, but it still delivers a fun driving experience, and I like that. It doesn't kick you in the chest. It doesn't make me want to throw up. It doesn't, roundhouse kick me, but that's a fun, enjoyable experience. And when you want a little bit of fun, if you got a little bit of extra room, you can definitely give it the beans and you'll get a smile. We'll talk about it later, but I think this car gets a lot of hate because it's not the Evolution. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you why I think that's kind of okay. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed automatic. Now, this is a twin clutch automatic transmission. And honestly, when you're driving it, it sort of feels almost like it is a manual. It's a very interesting sensation. I'd say very similar to that found in Volkswagen's, the DSG transmission. So if you are very familiar with DSGs, you'll feel right at home here in the Lancer. Now, we do have some interesting modes that we'll talk about a little bit later on, but basically, it's a twin clutch transmission, and I actually like it. If you're going to go with an automatic, this is not a bad route to go. Last but not least, the Ralliart is all-wheel drive. This isn't the top dog, and it still has all-wheel drive, which is absolutely awesome, and nearly a necessity here in Chicago, especially here in December. But let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me I have two main gauges. On the left is my tachometer, on the right is my speedometer. And in the center I do have a little information screen giving me my coolant temperature, my fuel, MPG, miles till empty, and I can switch that with an info button off to the left, get a couple more things. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my volume controls, track change, mode, and phone options. And then on the right, I have my cruise control options. As well as I do have paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel. They are really nice and they do stay in place even though the wheel turns, which I actually personally prefer. But overall, I think the steering wheel does look really nice, and I am a big fan of it. To the left of me, I do have traction control, a dead switch, and headlight levelers. Not really sure why I have headlight levelers in a sedan, but I do, and they're here. On the door, I have my window switches, power mirrors, power locking, things like that. Now, in the center, we do have a very interesting radio for a couple different reasons. First of all, it has navigation, Bluetooth, and it's a touchscreen from the factory. That's not anything too special. However, there is an open button, and when you hit open, well, it opens. I don't really know how else to say it. The whole thing opens, and that is where you find your aux input. Very interesting, dare I say, stupid place to put an aux input, but that's where you find it here in the 2012 Lancer. Down below that, we do have the hazard switches and then the passenger airbag on and off, things like that. Then we have our climate controls, nothing really too crazy. Again, here I do have auto, which is nice. I can go through 65 to 85 degrees in temperature, and then of course you have all of your different locations in which you can send your hot or cold air. Then I have two cubby holes, one of which containing a 12-volt outlet. Then we come to the shifter. Now, I know for a lot of people you might get upset because this is automatic, but I actually don't mind it, like I mentioned earlier, and it does say SST twin clutch. This is an aftermarket shift knob. They do not all come with carbon fiber shift knobs. And to move it, you actually do pull up on a ring to get it in and out of gear. Now, this is very interesting because manual transmission, mostly 6-speed manual transmission cars have this ring. So then it works as like a reverse lockout. But this just has the ring so you can get it in and out of gear because it's automatic. Part of me hates this because it looks like you're trying to fool people into thinking that you have a manual. The other part of me just doesn't care. I'm getting older. Back in the day, if this was like one of my first 15 reviews, I probably would have been like, yeah, it's trying to look like a manual. I'm an adult now. I have credit card debt. My hair is thinning. I just straight up don't care anymore. But I do have a couple different modes. So I have normal. We can bump it up to sport. And then if you hold it for 3 seconds, you can bump it up to super sport. I will, of course, keep this down in normal because I don't need it to do anything else, but it is nice that you can put it into super sport. This is going to make your transmission shift. It is going to do the work, but it's a very solid transmission. And honestly, like I keep saying, it's an automatic, but if you have to go automatic, if you absolutely have to, this is one of the better routes to do so, and this is coming up on 8 years old, and it's still performing pretty well. 103,000 miles on it. Then I have another button down below the shifter, and this is for my 3 different surface modes. So we have tarmac, gravel, and snow. We, of course, will leave it in tarmac because that's what we're on. But again, it's another all-wheel drive option, which is absolutely great because it gives you that customization ability of the Latter-day Saints. So you can kind of tweak the car to get it to do what you need it to do. Then up at the very top of the center console, I do have heated seats. So this car was the more luxury-ish, had a lot more options, and so I did get heated seats here in the Ralliart Lancer. I really, really like that. I am pleasantly enjoying that at the current moment. But speaking of the seats, they are nice and comfortable. They are not aggressive. Again, this is not the top sport model, so they're not aggressive. They're really comfortable. They're leather. They're heated. They are not power, though, which is interesting. I feel like it's decently rare to find a seat that isn't power, but it is heated. I might be wrong with that, but I just feel like in my findings, normally it's power but not heated. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2012 Mitsubishi Lancer Ralliart, and honestly, there's nothing to talk about back here. Have good headroom, have good leg room. Other than that, it feels straight up like an economy rental car, whatever. I mean, this is just all plastic. I have window switches, they're not auto. I have a grab handle, I don't get a light, nothing. I do have a center console with 2 cup holders, but other than that, it's all plastic, pleather plastic. Now we gotta talk about the looks. Now this is where you're going to start to see the difference between the Lancer and the Lancer Evolution. There's a few design cues that are missing here from the Evolution. There's no side fin, there's no giant rear spoiler, there's a different front bumper, things like that. However, I do think that this specific car does look good. It's on aftermarket rims, the taillights are aftermarket, things like that, and it's debadged ever so slightly. But really, I think it's generally not a bad looking car. And so that's what I really want to talk about with the remainder of the video, is that I feel like some people in the comments will go, oh, it's not an Evolution. Oh, it's not an Evo 10. Oh, it's automatic. Get that out of here. And first of all, let me know when you turn 12. I'll send you a birthday wish. But second of all, no, this isn't the Evolution. This isn't the top dog. This isn't the insane blood-pumping, curl-your-toes Lancer Evolution Evo 10. But not as far off from it than I previously thought. It's not 2 different worlds. They're really not that far off. Would I prefer a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution over the Lancer Ralliart? I would rather have an Evo 10, but not by a large margin. If there's a drastic price difference between this and the Evo 10 that you're looking at, sometimes money's better spent in other areas. If you're going to do track days, if you want to create a track monster, get an Evo 10. If you want to do a high horsepower build, get an Evo 10. If you want to build a rally car, strip it down and put a cage in it, get an Evo 10. But if you just want a fun car that's going to be your daily, something a little different, something that will put a smile on your face, you can do some light modifying to, just a decent little car that isn't a Focus ST, look into these Ralliart Lancers. It's fun. It's quick enough. You know, getting to and from school, going to and from work, you don't need anything faster. Are you going to beat a record track time at Autobahn Country Club in one of these? No, you're not. But this will definitely spruce up your commute. This will definitely spruce up going to the store, having fun. You can go on cruises with friends and not feel inadequate. And that's why I like this car. Just please, 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 please do not make it an Evo 10 clone. Everyone will hate you. Don't put the fin on it. Don't put the vents on it. Just let it be. 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 Leave your Lancer alone. Let it be. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Tam for letting me drive his Lancer. This is really eye-opening. I really came into this review thinking it's going to be like a base model Lancer that's trying to be an Evo. And in all reality, it's not trying to be an Evo. It's just not that far off from it. It's like Illinois and Indiana. Indiana's not trying to be Illinois. It's just right next door to it. So a lot of things cross over. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.